All right, so we're going to go over notes 9, solving absolute values. And what I want you to do is, as I go through these, I want you to be writing this down on a separate sheet of paper, and also to make sure you're answering the Edpuzzle questions as we go. So, solving absolute value equations. So here's the definition of an absolute value: is the actual distance from zero, which is going to always be positive no matter which way you go. All right, so the absolute value of any number is going to be positive. So -5 is 5 spaces away from 0, which means -5, the absolute value of -5 equals 5. And the absolute value of 5 equals 5 also, because those are both 5 spaces away from 0. So here's what it looks like on a number line. So we have the absolute value of 5, so any number that's 5 spaces away from 0. So x is going to equal either +5, because that's 5 spaces away from 0. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or -5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, both 5 spaces away from 0. The way you would solve this on a sheet of paper is you would split that absolute value into equal two different things. X can equal -5, or x can equal +5. You're going to have two solutions to the same problem for these absolute values. So if we're going to solve for x in this one, which the absolute value of x equals 8, you're going to split it up again. You have x equals -8 or x equals +8, because both of those numbers are 8 spaces away from 0. For this one, if you're going to solve for x with an absolute value, you have to get the absolute value alone before you split it up into the positive, negative versions of itself. So the way you would do that is like any other equation. So you're adding 4 to that absolute value of x, so you'd subtract 4 from both sides, and you get the absolute value of x equals 16. Now you need to take that and split it into both the positive version and the negative version. So x is going to equal both -16 and +16. Here's one special case. We're going to solve for x. So the absolute value of 10x equals 0. So the only number that's actually going to work in that equation is going to be 0, because 10 times 0 is 0, and the absolute value of 0 is 0. For this one, the absolute value of x equals -4. This one's a little tricky. Now, I told you the absolute value is always going to be a positive distance from 0. So if you have an absolute value that equals a negative number, that means the absolute value of a negative number is going to be no solution, which on MyMathLab is going to be one of your choices. They can never be negative. That's the end of the notes. Please go ahead and do the MyMathLab assignment that's associated with it.